But the judge said, I'm not going to give you your gun rights back because it hasn't been enough time. And I see that all the time when people come to me after they've tried to do it on their own. But nevertheless, so I would say a good rule of thumb is to wait 5 years. And then after 5 years, it kind of just depends on what case you have, what old case you have on. If you have a, so when do you file a motion to get your gun rights back here in Arizona? Now, assuming you don't qualify for Arizona's automatic restoration law, which basically means, and I'll repeat it again, that if your case was, if you've had a case in Arizona and you were sentenced after 2022, if it was your first felony and you've paid all your fines and everything like that, your rights are automatically restored here in Arizona. But most people don't qualify under that law. Most people have cases that were before 2022. Most people have cases where it's not their first felony. So for the 90% of the people who don't qualify for the automatic restoration law, you're going to have to file a motion with the court to get your gun rights restored if you've been convicted of a felony. Now, the question is, when do you file the motion? And I think a good rule of thumb, and I've been doing this for 26 years, I think a good rule of thumb is to wait 5 years after your conviction to file the motion to get your gun rights back. Most of the times where I've seen cases, whether I filed them or I've seen people try to file them on their own and got denied, the reason why the judge denies them is because the judge says there hasn't been enough time. Oftentimes I'll see people come to me and they'll say that, you know, that I filed this motion basically too early. The judge gave me all my other civil rights, my right to serve on a jury, hold elective office, and the right to vote. But the judge said, I'm not going to give you your gun rights back because it hasn't been enough time. And I see that all the time when people come to me after they've tried to do it on their own. But nevertheless, so I would say a good rule of thumb is to wait 5 years. And then after 5 years, it kind of just depends on what case you have, what old case you have on. If you have a simple drug case, then you could probably file right after 5 years and be fine. If you have more of a serious case, I don't know, conspiracy or fraud or something like that, you probably want to wait closer to 10 years. Also, the law basically says that you can't file a motion if you have a serious crime before 10 years. And so you have to keep that in mind. And that's like the serious case. That's like a case of, like, you know, armed robbery or something like that, or a case involving weapons or violence that wasn't alleged as dangerous, because if it's alleged as dangerous, you can't file at all.